believe we're on the air.
Good morning and welcome to the December 7th meeting of the Zoning Board of Adjustments and Appeals. First up is roll call. Ms. Mayweather. Here. Ms. Schaefer.
Here.
Mr. Raschke.
Here.
Mr. Culberson.
Here.
Mr. Kent.
Here.
And Mr. Pedersen.
Here.
And Ms. Konishi is here. Before us, we have the meeting minutes from the November meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Mayweather.
Approve.
Ms. Schaefer.
Approve.
Mr. Raschke.
Yes.
Mr. Culberson.
Yes.
Mr. Kent.
Yes.
Mr. Pedersen.
Aye.
And Ms. Konishi, yes. I'll turn it over to our city attorney.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Zoning Board of Adjustments and Appeals. This is a board comprised of members of our community. They are appointed by our city commission, and they serve in a volunteer capacity. They aren't city employees, and they are charged with listening and deciding requests for variances from the city's land development code and granting those variances where there is an undue burden or unnecessary hardship, and where granting that variance wouldn't be contrary to the public interest. The way the procedures will work today, each applicant will be called forward. If you could state your name and address for the record and just give a brief description of what your variance request entails. City staff and our board members will be able to ask questions, and then the city will also be able to present some information as well. If there are any members from the public that we wish to speak for or against a particular variance, they'll be given an opportunity to do so as well. I would ask, if you're planning on speaking before the board today, that I will go ahead and swear you in. So if you could raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Thank you. I'll turn it back over to our chair.
Our first applicant this morning is Patrick Dugan Construction. They are requesting a 5-foot variance to allow a 10-foot setback from the west Valencia Street right-of-way in lieu of the 15-foot minimum street side setback specified by Table 3.4-1 of the Land Development Code in order to construct a new single-family home on the property located at 1627 Washington Avenue.
And if you can just come up and have a seat here.
And for the record, can you state your name and address, please?
Patrick Duggan, the address of the property in question, or
The address of your residence.
5114 Kirkland Road, Lakeland, Florida,
Thank you.
33811.
Can you give us a little bit of information about your request?
The property is located on the corner of Washington Avenue and Valencia Street West. It has a double frontage because it's on the corner, which makes it extremely difficult to get even a decent small size house there. So we were just requesting that one side be reduced to a 10-foot instead of a 15-foot, and we'll still have the 15-foot on the Washington side. We're requesting to go from 15 to 10 on the Valencia Street side.
Understood.
I really only need 3 feet, but 5 feet just seemed the correct thing to do.
Is there anyone here? It doesn't look like there's anyone here in the audience to speak to this. Did we send out notifications to the neighbors
Yes, we sent letters to adjacent property owners
and received no
that
feedback?
I'm aware of.
Yes. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Mary Stahl with Community Economic Development. We did send out notification. We didn't receive any emails or letters from the neighbors. So this here is the site plan that was provided. As you can see, it is a 50 by 100 foot lot, corner lot, and let's see. And so it will meet 10 feet right on Valencia, and it will still have the minimum setbacks for the interior and front, and of course the rear of the property. The subject property was originally recorded and platted in 1924, and so the properties here, there's much smaller lots than our today's zoning requirements. The newer subdivisions that are zoned for 50-foot lots, the corner lots are a little bit larger to accommodate for the setback, the street side setback for to meet our land development code zoning requirements. This is a recent photo of the property. This is the southwest corner looking east. As you can see, it already has a drive here. And this here's on the east corner, still on the southeast corner of the property, facing west. And, oops. The hardship suffered is no result of action taken by the applicant. The request is reasonable and proportionate to the degree of this hardship. Approval of this request would not be contrary to the public interest, and provided that there was no objections of adjacent property owners, the recommendation is for the 5-foot variance to allow for the street side setback of the property off of West Valencia Street, right away to be considered for approval.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from the board?
So the front of the house faces Valencia,
No, sir, Washington.
faces Washington.
Faces Washington, and it meets the required 15-foot setback. So that is meeting the requirements from the land development code. It's just that because the lot size is so narrow, so small, it's only 50-foot wide, to put it at the 15-foot that is required at the corner would make the house extremely narrow.
So the driveway's on Valencia.
Be abandoned.
Oh, it'll be abandoned. So
Yes,
it's
sir,
gonna
they're
be
cracked up and damaged.
It's going to be it's going to be moved over to Washington.
Yes, sir. It's too close to the stop sign anyway, and it just didn't
That's
make
what I
sense.
was thinking. Just asking. Thanks.
Yeah. I believe there were 2 homes there, those lots, they look empty, they're vacant, but they were demolished homes.
What is the proposed square footage for the existing building?
Pardon?
What's the square footage for the building, the structure you're building?
1,500 under roof. I believe it's 1,100 heated.
And
So, I
there's-
mean, it's small.
And there's no driveway pad or anything at all?
Yes, sir, the new driveways will be on Washington, but they'll be further down from there's not a stop sign on Washington, so you don't have the same egress and ingress problems with a driveway that close to the stop sign on Valencia. So it solves 2 problems.
Will your plan include a attached garage or carport?
Sir?
Does your plan include an attached garage or a carport?
Yes, sir, it's attached, yes, sir. And it's
Okay.
on the left side of the building, so it's all the way down to the northwest corner. So it's a good 75 feet to the farthest side down Washington Avenue.
Is that a garage or carport?
It's garage, it's attached garage.
For that, we would require a 20-foot setback from the right-of-way for a front-loaded garage. But that's what you're going to be using.
The city had told me 15.
But you have to have room for the pad in front of the garage has to be 20 feet.
I'm just going
Okay,
on what they gave me at the city. I mean, I researched it extensively.
Okay, I'm just advising that's the requirement though, so I haven't seen the plan that was submitted for the variance, but that will be required for the actual permitting.
You're saying that the front of the property is 20 foot, not 15 foot?
No, for the front-loaded garage, because you have a parking pad in front, there has to be room to park a car without overhanging into the right-of-way.
Okay. So you're saying the setback is 20 foot, not 15 foot?
Yeah, for the garage portion would be 20 feet, but the house could be 15 feet for the, like that.
Okay. I believe that the house has an inset on that side. It actually has a porch that comes out that is at the 15 foot. So I believe the garage is set back several more feet from the front of the porch. So if that's the case, I'm sure that's been taken into account.
Okay, I mean, that'll work. I just wanted to make sure you're aware of that requirement.
Will that interfere with us approving this today?
No, it should not, since this is a different application. This is for the,
No, this is just for the house structure itself. I don't think that impacts it. It's just when you're talking about, as Matt said, with the garage, then he just needs to ensure that the setbacks are required. And as he said, through the permitting process, they'll make sure that happens.
any other questions?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the request.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a second. Ms. Mayweather?
Approved.
Ms. Schaefer?
Yes.
Mr. Rashke?
Yes.
Mr. Culberson?
Yes.
Mr. Kemp?
Yes.
Mr. Patterson?
Aye.
And Ms. Konishi, yes. So it's been approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, we have 6355 Egret Drive. The request is for a 5-foot variance to allow a 10-foot rear yard setback in lieu of a 15-foot minimum setback specified by the PUD zoning for Sandpiper Golf and Country Club, Ordinance 5705, to allow for the construction of a new hard roof screen room addition on the property located at 6355 Egret Drive. Good morning. For the record, can you state your name and address?
My name is Muriel Clark, 6355 Egret Drive.
Thank you. And can you give us a brief explanation of what your application is for?
We'd like to put a screen roof on the back of the property. He is not supposed to be in the sun, so at least we can sit out in the back in the shade. Plus to eliminate bugs flying in your face all the time.
Understood. City comments?
Good morning. For the record, Joshua Cheney with Community Economic Development. The applicant's property is in the Sandpiper Golf and Country Club PUD. As you can see from the site plan, it is located on the cul-de-sac. This is a just over 17,000 square foot house. It was built in 1991. The purpose of the variance is to allow for the construction of a screen room with a hard roof. On the back side of the house, there is an existing slab here, and I'll show you some photos of the site. So this would be in between the applicant's house there to the left. This is looking west. This is coming around the corner. This is their backyard. That area directly behind it is open space owned by the Homeowners Association. That is a single-family attached subdivision directly behind their house. This is the slab here. This would be the view from the cul-de-sac directly behind their house to the west of the subject property. And this is just demonstrating the distance between the subject property and the neighboring property there to the north.
That's their property right there?
This is their property, that's
The
correct.
picket fence? So they're proposing just adding on to where that back patio door is and coming out with a 8x8 structure?
That's correct.
And the stake that was there is like where the property line is in the previous picture.
That appears to coincide with the the survey that was provided, but I'll allow the applicant to answer that question, just to verify that. She's asking about the stake that was at the corner of the property.
Oh, they had to dig into the sewer lines there.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
It does appear to be very close to that rear property line.
So that's, the stake is not the property line.
No. Can you advance one more?
Yes.
How many
One
feet
more.
is it from the pad to the property line in the back?
So you have a variable distance, and let's go back to the site plan. So because of the odd lot line geometry of the lot, what you see here is it's just over 27 feet from the north corner of the house. This would be to the west, and then you have this utility easement that runs through here. And then, but at this corner, it's actually 10 foot. So within Sandpiper, they're required to have a 15-foot rear setback, and because this is a hard roof, it's considered an addition to the house. If it were a screen room or a pool cage, it would have a reduced setback, but in this situation, they have to meet the same setback as if it were an addition, say, of a living room or a bedroom. So the issue essentially is because of the shape and size of the lot, and as we know, there's depth issues with the lots already in Sandpiper. They need a 5-foot setback so that they can build on the existing slab here, because it'll only be set back 10 foot from the rear property line, right here. So as I mentioned, to the rear of the site is one of the newer phases of the subdivision, and those are single-family attached, so you can see there's quite a distance here between the slab where this structure would be built, and then the cul-de-sac and the single-family attached there behind their home. Oops, so it's coming back around to the front.
And the slab is not going to be larger, they're going to use the existing slab?
According to the applicant, yes, that's what they've said.
Okay.
So we have not received any phone calls, questions, or emails regarding this request. This is consistent with the issues that you've already seen many times in the past as it relates to Sandpiper. They did provide an application that was approved by the Subdivision's Architectural Review Committee. It was approved on October 9th, 2021. The hardship suffered is related to the irregular lot geometry and not the result of any action taken by the applicant. We believe the amount of relief requested is reasonable and the minimal amount necessary to accommodate the proposed addition. In addition to that, there's really no other there's no other place they can put this because of how this was constructed. So with that, we recommend approval. I'll stand for any questions you may have.
Any further questions from the board?
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a second. Ms. Mayweather? Ms. Schaefer?
Yes.
Mr. Rashke?
Yes.
Mr. Culberson?
Yes.
Mr. Kemp?
Yes.
Mr. Patterson?
Aye.
And Ms. Cornish, yes. So you're approved.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have any unfinished business? Do we have any new business?
Nothing new here.
All right, I guess we stand adjourned.
Happy holidays, everyone.